Good game. Completely crushed me.
This game is almost as impressive as this stunning shirt which I'm wearing today. It's Magpie Crane Swan with the white pieces. He's the world #1. He opens with the English against the Uzbekistani Javokhir Sindarov, who responds with knight f6. This is online chess, titled Tuesday, played 24th of Feb, so only a couple of months ago. And Magnus gets absolutely crushed. 28 moves from here. He's resigning. Who does that to the world #1? And this isn't even some Mickey Mouse opening. He builds the banana hammock. He then tucks the bishop in. G6 copying. Obviously, why wouldn't you do the same as the world #1? But check this out. The knight doesn't go to the usual square. It's Magnus magic time. There it goes. Very stinky, on the edge of the board. If you want to learn some offbeat systems like this, obviously check out Lotus Chess, link down below. You can use it for mainstream openings or the sidelines, right? The fighting chess, the fun, quirky ones. Catch out your opponents, and as a bonus, they do end games. Let's crack on here. Links below in the description. Knights rotating around. Magnus says on stream that this whole idea is to fight against h5, h4, apparently, although you can still play that move, so I got no clue. This looks a bit logical maybe, take control, but this is played nice and solid and steady. Magnus goes full b3 cowboy. Now all the bits are out for black. Bishop b2, those ones crossing swords, both players castle, and there's some a6 business. We know what's on the way. First Magnus builds the pyramid, now here comes the rook, and he says fine, have your b5 business, I'm going to activate the lady, connect the rooks, it's good chess, pawn b5 strikes and gains space. Both players just playing really nice, natural, logical chess. This is how things proceeded here, and basically the position on move 15 is very, very level. Nothing too much to speak of for having the white pieces. Black's even got the slightly bigger claim in the centre, you might say. Bishop e8 looks weird, but it opens the eyes of the rook, is the point. Magnus brings the second. We get an exchange of pawns there. D-pawn recaptures. Pressure down here, but it's very nicely dealt with by this rook. And meanwhile, Black's got an annoying plan. Here it comes. It's the push of the A-pawn. And with that one little piggy, you're now undermining all three houses over here. Annoying. Magnus drops back with the knight, rotating. It was on a bit of a clumsy circuit. A4's on the board here. What to do? If you leave it and allow the exchange, say you start with rook b1, well, yes, playable, but you're under this long-term annoying pressure. So takes was played. It does allow rook b2, and then there's a queen e1 line, and you can rotate the knight, and the game goes on. Should be roughly level if you play correctly, but Sindarov didn't want that one. He starts with not the best move. That was the best move. He pops a pony in the centre of the board, and this is a bit tricky. So first off, you're threatening knight f3 check, because the bishop's the only one covering the square. So it begs the question, why not f4? And Magnus considers this, and this is the best move, but he doesn't play it. We're in the back cave, because you have to realise that Black's got this move. There was also rook b2, by the way, very tricky line. If takes, then there's the knight check, and you pick up the queen, but that's a different story. This one attacks a rook, and you might think, well, hang on, don't we take? Get 2 minors for the rook, but this is actually better for Black. This rook on the second, so annoying. You can't move the knight, or the queen enters here. Rook's going to gobble a pawn, and the king's a bit drafty. Minor piece is a bit clumsy. So Black's actually better here, with the rook for the 2 minors. But, running back here, you don't have to take that knight. You can play the calm rook e1, and after the knight moves somewhere, white stands better here. You're going to win back some material, maybe the D pawn. You've kicked back the knight. Game rumbles on. This was the way to go, which is why I mention it. Magnus doesn't do it. He plonks this knight on c3. It's not about offering the pawn and taking it with black. You shouldn't do that. Knight e4 hits your queen. It's dropping with check. Plus your rook's loose. Or knight's loose rather. This is the point. And you pick up the bishop by force. Because obviously otherwise you lose the lady. Queen recaptures here. And it's the light squares that are now the big problem for white. Magnus therefore goes e4. Let's blunt that bishop. Create a clamp on d5. Try and get the knight working on the outposts. Maybe b5. But another excellent move by Sindarov. You know, if he starts with bishop c6, let's say, Magnus is in time for rook e1, rook e3, kick the queen out. But he plays the excellent rook b4. Swinging into the game, pressuring this pawn that's undefended. Could be ideas of this now one day as well. And Magnus makes a mistake. He could even look at rook e1, rook e3 still. Black's still a bit better. But he plays knight into b5. And this is far from ideal because it drops this pawn. Magnus has got a tactical tricky line prepared, but it does not work. a3 is actually the best, offering a pawn. It all rumbles on from there. I forget the full ideas, but white starts getting some activity, I think with queen a5, pressuring the loose rook. However, Magnus plays knight takes on d6, back-to-back question marks, and as you can see over here, the all-powerful, all-seeing Sir Stock Squiddington has pooped its pants. That's a -5 now. Black completely winning with one brilliant move only. It's rook takes on d6. All of the tactics without this move were connected to the queen taking here and doing some funky stuff. That's what white was banking on. But this kills it. Because now Sindarov lands the bishop on c6. An unassailable monster. And he's threatening checkmate in one. How do you parry that? You know, if you go f3, well, there's check is actually the best line. King f1, queen takes check. And you still get hunted in various different ways. What's the line here? Queen e1. It's just going back and forth. I guess the rook joins the party. It's really bad. So f3 is not helping. Magnus blitzes out a very tricky try to defend the position. Rook d5. Really interesting idea. It looks impossible. You know, can't the pawn just take? Well, yes. But now the bishop's hanging. Queen takes. And you can't take. Or this drops. So this should actually be something of a drawing line. This gives enough counterplay for the connected pawns, and apparently it should be some perpetual or something. So we didn't see this takes. Bishop takes, also not winning the game. What should black do? There's only one winning move here.
The only winning move.
It's the only move?
The only winning move.
It's the only move?
The only winning move.
It's the only...
It's rook takes on c4. Sindarov finds it in a flash, and you're simply removing the defender of this rook. So what to do? It's not long now. This is also attacked. What if you sort of try and save it? I don't know, rook f to d1. Well, now you can take, and there's no pawn takes. This is really the big point, because you still don't want to do this. You drop a bishop. So what to do? Magnus tries the check. King g7 slides back with an almighty whoosh, checks once more, but there's a number of winning moves. e5 wins, this wins, played in the game, move 29, and Magnus resigns. Because he's losing an entire rook. You cannot move it. You can't take here, you can't take here. Anytime the rook moves, you get mated. That's the massive problem. And if you try and fight against the mate, you know, open up the queen's defense, well then still you lose a rook and you're an entire bishop down. Magnus Carlsen crushed in 29 moves. Hope you enjoyed that one. Do check out Lotus Chess, it's fantastic. And have a look at the video on screen if you want to see more Magnus Magic. Boy, what a game this one is. Thanks a lot for watching and see you soon. Cheers.